Okay, we have started. Perfect. All right. Hey, before we get started, any questions for me?
No, not right now.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is kind of those initial questions, and I imagine a few of the board members may be looking at this, so kind of that's where our audience is. I don't think it'll be sent out beyond that. So just for your awareness.
Sure.
So we've got your resume, we've got that background. People can look through that, but for somebody who is a quick and dirty person, why don't you tell us about yourself, a little bit what's on that resume, and take it from there.
Sure. Well, I've been with the organization I'm at currently in total for about 16 years, from 2003 until 2018. And just kind of grew there as a leader, starting out as a staffing coordinator and then manager and then associate director and director. So most of that time has been spent in inpatient services, leading the hospital's med-surg and critical care areas, as well as their labor and delivery. A few years ago, I was ready to step outside the organization just to broaden my leadership experience and get some executive opportunities under my belt. So I did accept a opportunity in Nebraska to be the administrator of the adult psychiatric hospitals owned and operated by Department of Health and Human Services for the state of Nebraska. After about a year, the state would ask me to take on a third facility, which would have required quite a bit of travel throughout the state. And we do have 3 little kids that like for me to be home at night. And so we just felt like it would be better for the family if I found an opportunity that would be really based in one location. So the position in Georgia opened up as executive director of hospital operations for a 633-bed hospital in Marietta. And there I led the hospital support department. So patient placement, bed control, and housekeeping, transportation, hospital operators, departments like that. Really enjoyed both of those positions and opportunities, but after the kind of pandemic started into full swing and the school kids started attending school virtually, and just found it really difficult to do school with them at 8 and 9 o'clock at night after working all day. And so the position I'd held in Indiana for several years came back open, and we made the decision just to return back to Indiana. And that way we could have our family support there. My parents help out with the kids, and that's really been great. This year they're back in school in person, and so we're just now starting to look at what would the next step look like if we were to go back into an executive leadership role. And so I think our family feels ready for that, and this particular opportunity is something that we're excited about.
Oh, fantastic. You gave us a little bit of background on why you're looking at this type of a role. So when this position came up for Hanson Family Hospital, tell us a bit about that opportunity and why it interests you.
Well, for quite some time, I've been interested in pursuing an opportunity as administrator or CEO of a critical access hospital in particular, just because of the opportunity to really form relationships in a smaller setting. The last couple of roles have been in very large hospitals. The current organization I'm with has about 5,000 employees, and I lead about 700 of those. And so there's opportunities to have great relationships within my small leadership cohort, but there's many team members that I don't know as well. And so the critical access environment really provides the opportunity to have great relationships at all levels within the organization. And just kind of draw on all the experiences at the different places I've had the opportunity to lead in, to be able to bring some of that perspective and knowledge to community. And that just is really appealing to me, in addition to the small town environment that we'd love to raise our kids in.
Certainly. Can you tell us what experience you have with critical access hospitals?
So I haven't had the opportunity to lead in a critical care or critical access hospital, but certainly the facilities that I've interacted with have been of different sizes. So anywhere from a small 100-bed hospital that's just psychiatric to 250 beds to 300 beds, and then, like I said, the 600 beds. So kind of all over the place, and really all of those environments had many of the same elements of operations. So all of those hospitals were Joint Commission certified. So there's a regulatory component there that whether your hospital is Joint Commission or not, there's always regulatory guidelines, even from the State Board of Health perspective. Those things kind of transcend whatever healthcare environment you're looking at. A lot of the financial pieces kind of come into play there as well within the healthcare environment. So I feel pretty confident in being able to take those skills and apply them in this setting.
Certainly. So let's transition more to your style and tell us a bit about that. Probably the it's a $5 term. It's all a matter of how do you interpret it. But tell me, what does transparency mean to you?
So I think transparency for me and within this particular context is really making the information available to your key leadership team and stakeholders. That's going to help them be able to feel a part of the overall organizational mission and the work that they do. So when possible and when able, I tend to be more of an open book type leader. I don't like secrets, and I don't like a whole lot of things that we can't share and be open with. I think it's actually really helpful for teams when you can kind of open up the doors there and let people know what's going on. And you can get a lot more buy-in from your frontline team members when they feel a part of being a part of the solution and knowing the overall goals of the organization and how they can individually contribute. And that comes from cultivating a transparent culture.
Certainly. Yeah, you mentioned communication, which of course is a big part of it, no doubt. And you mentioned earlier overseeing 700 people through your scope. I can't imagine the challenge in communicating with that. Help us understand some of the techniques you use that you might feel are unique to you, that work most effectively for communication. And can you give us an example or two?
Sure. One of my favorite tools to use, and one that I've really kind of come to rely on over the years as I've led teams of different sizes, is it's a framework for how we interact monthly with my key leaders. And so that framework looks like a sit down scheduled time once a month to come in and ask a very specific set of questions, which includes starting off with an opportunity for them to share with me what things are going right and what things are going well in their area. A lot of times in healthcare, it's easy to be able to just take a list of all the problems, and that can really start to bog you down because healthcare is complex and there's always things we can do to improve. But it's so important to be able to take time to recognize the things that are going well. And right after that, I ask for the opportunity for them to let me know of people on their team that they would like to recognize so that I can send them a thank you card or reach out to them so that those high performers within the organization are getting recognized. And it also helps me know those individuals who might be ready for more responsibility. So that also kind of adds to starting off conversations in a way that's very positive. Then I ask them, do they have the tools and equipment necessary to do their job, to keep leaders and frontline staff motivated? It's very important that they feel equipped to be able to do their work effectively. And that's a very specific question that helps me know, do they have what they need to be able to do the job we've asked them to do? Then I ask them if they have any quality and safety concerns. And so as a leader of an organization or a large department, it's very important to me that I know if there's anything that could jeopardize the safety of our patients or our staff. And so that specific question helps me know if there's anything that needs attention that somehow has not made it onto my radar. And then I ask them if there's any
Hold on, I think we've got.
There's anything
John, I think we have a bad connection. Just want to make sure we can get you back here. Can you hear me okay? Might not have you right now. If you can hear me, I'm not getting anything from you. Nuts. John, are you there? That's frustrating. Technology the way it is. Do we still have you, John? Hey, there, maybe you're back. I saw you a little bit. You there?
Hey.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Was I with you the whole time?
No, it did drop off for a moment.
Okay, so we've got you back now. Yeah, you were just describing a bit about the interaction you have with your staff, asking them those questions. I think you've been talking about quality and any safety concerns. Maybe pick up from there.
Sure. So those questions, the leaders, they know I'll be asking those each month. And so they come prepared to tell me, and with that kind of prioritization in mind. And it really leads to good conversation. Another thing that I do is then I ask them to have those same meetings with their direct reports. So that's happening at all levels throughout the organization. And at a department level, we generate what's called a stoplight report. And a lot of the issues that get brought forward at a department level, we post that in department areas so that they can see as we begin to check things off the list of those things that were identified in those one-on-one meetings. They can know what things maybe we can't resolve right now. Those go to a red, things that are in progress, and then things that were able to be completed. And so that staff have that really high level of trust and accountability between our leadership that things are getting done and that we're addressing what has been prioritized within the department.
Very good. Well, what you're describing is not only a communication style, but communication is a big part of a leadership style. So in addition to that, talk to us a bit about your leadership style.
I would say my style kind of blends a can-do approach and an element of creativity as well. I think that it's really easy in healthcare to kind of get into feelings of just being overwhelmed or also struggling with, especially experienced teams when they feel like things have been tried already before, maybe they weren't successful in the past. There really should be energy to always take a second look on behalf of patients. If we can offer patients a better experience or better outcomes, or even if we can deliver a better employee experience, it's really worth the effort to put in some energy to see if that can happen. And certainly when a problem has been identified by staff or by patients, or in any instance in which we've caused harm unintentionally to a patient, that's definitely an opportunity to take a look. And so I really enjoy looking from a process perspective, kind of mapping out what pieces and parts work really well, or what things maybe aren't as efficient, what ways we could improve. And so always open to suggestions, creative ideas, and just trying some things, knowing that every time it may not work, but sometimes it is going to work and it's going to deliver a better result. And in those cases, that's worth celebrating. It's really worth doing.
Very good. What would you want folks watching this to know about you that you haven't shared already, that's not on a resume, that would help us understand why we should look at John Reynolds?
Well, I think one of the things that's important to know about me as a leader is just I have a real, what motivates me is the opportunity to be able to produce better results for not only patients, but also team members. And so everybody wants to come to work and have a good day. And so I like to kind of work behind the scenes with team members to make that happen. And even if it's incremental, as long as we're moving forward and every day we're working towards an improved state, that's motivating to me. And so I like to find ways that interests of other leaders on the team and their strengths to be able to get projects that they're excited about, and really be able to kind of help them see how they can contribute to the overall work that the organization is doing to be able to deliver great care, and be able to celebrate wins and can create a positive environment. Because like I said, healthcare, especially in the last 18 months, has been exhausting for a lot of people, and it's been challenging. But there's also a lot of great work that happens every day, and it's so important that we talk about those wins and those things that are going well to keep people encouraged and motivated to keep coming back to work each day.
Very good. We could go all day with questions, but I think the idea is just to get a feel for who you are and you to get a feel for what we're offering. So in order for that to happen, I want to make sure you have a chance to ask me any questions you have of us.
Sure. Well, I would love to hear any thoughts or things you would like to share just about the organization in particular and this particular community. Would love to hear about those things.
Sure. Well, we talked a couple days ago, Hanson Family Hospital, critical access hospital, beautiful new facility. Iowa Falls is a beautiful community. They're about 1 hour, maybe 45 minutes from any other more significant size community. So that gives them an advantage in that they've created a sense of independence. There's everything there that you need, ranging from good dining options, entertainment options, basic shopping needs, whether it's your basic goods from a Walmart or something like that, grocery stores. It's all there. It's a good community. and it supports its hospital very strongly. So that's been one of the keys to their success. Good team of people that work there, very committed to the organization, good medical staff, um, municipal hospital. I think I've shared that. The downside for them is no tax support. So really, you must focus on that operating margin, whereas many county hospitals can focus on an operating margin, but they get tax support in order to ease the pain. Iowa Falls does not have that luxury, and so they've really done a nice job of focusing on that. And so looking forward, their focus is how do we make this organization as effective as it can be? Where can we grow lines of business and expand, whether it be additional providers for our main initiative, which is primary care. But they also built a nice surgery suite in that building, which we know is not being used as effectively as we can. So how do we reach out to our relationship partners here at North Iowa to help build that? So that's really where the focus is. Your senior team is good and it's strong. Um, like most senior teams, there's some possibility of turnover as it relates to retirement and those types of things. So anticipating that and planning for it, normal course of business. And as I said, a board that is incredibly supportive of the organization and of the administration and the medical staff. As I'm sure you would agree, 3 legs to that stool are absolutely critical. Yeah, you could say 4, but your board, your medical staff, and your administration are the 3 critical. And then you add a community to that for complete stability. That exists in Iowa Falls. So it really is a great opportunity to look at, most definitely. I'd like to think our relationship through MercyOne North Iowa and the management agreement has brought tremendous support and strength to that relationship, and it's getting stronger. We've got some cost report benefit that we provided to them, as well as just ongoing support. So honestly, John, I can't say enough good things about it. It really is a great opportunity, and I sit back and think about where I was 25 years ago, thinking, I wish Iowa Falls would have opened up at that point for me like this, because it would have been a great role to step into. So I hope that answers the question.
It does. And, one of the neat things about an organization who's open to growth is it provides the opportunity to look at what the needs of the community are. And when you can pair what services you think you might want to grow or be able to offer with a need that's been identified in the community, that's something that's really easy to get excited about and get your care providers excited about as well. So that would be a lot of fun to do that. We're also, we looked at the schools in the area, and we were excited to see that the elementary and middle schools are really highly rated in that particular community. Cost of living was good. The family so far has not been thrilled about the idea of moving, except for if we could get them on a property that had some acreage, because they would love to have some animals. And so I saw that there were some of those properties available. So I think that that would be a big motivator to get them willing at looking at that one more time here. So yeah, I would be very happy to have additional conversations if the board would be interested, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be able to answer and ask some questions this evening.
Wonderful. Well, I don't have any other questions right now, so thank you. Let me stop the recording, and then you and I can just wrap up if that's okay.
Sure.
Stop recording.